Hi, my name is Diane, and I was at the Austin Endeavorun running camp. For me, that camp was it was an experience of a lifetime. I don't believe I've ever had an experience like that before. I I went in feeling pretty good about it, and had high expectations just because everything had been explained so well, prepped so well, set up so well. So I kind of knew going in that it was probably going to be a good experience, but it went so far beyond what I expected or what I could have hoped for. And that has everything to do with Jake and all of the other coaches. I was really, really nervous going in. I've been running for 5.5 years, and after about a 20-year break, I ran in high school and ran in my 20s, and then had a 20-year break and was not very active during those 20 years, and hired a trainer before I turned 50 years old, and he was a runner, and so running became a part of my program. But I never expected that running would become central to my life, and that my life would be transformed physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually the way it has been. And that all points to my running life and what I have learned about life through running. So the Endeavorun camp was not something I really knew existed. And I came across it and signed up for it, and it was definitely a natural next step. However, I think probably like a lot of runners, I had a lot of stories in my head about who I was as a runner. That, I was in my 50s and I was slow, and I was probably going to be one of the oldest people there, and I think I probably was the oldest woman there. And not one of those things mattered. None of it mattered. And in fact, going to the camp has changed how I think about myself as a runner now. And, there's all the quotes out there, if you run, you're a runner. And I have all of those up around my writing desk. But something changed at camp that I thought, yeah, I am a runner. And it doesn't, speed's relative. Ability is kind of relative, certainly not among elite runners, but it is among the rest of us, which number at like 60 million people in the United States. And I feel like going to Endeavorun, I found my place in the pack, and it's saying a lot, because I was very, very nervous going in. When I first signed up, I was excited, but it was all in theory. As it got closer, I got more and more nervous. And quite honestly, when I arrived in Austin, I had a meltdown. I think it's fair to say I actually had a panic attack. And I was like, what am I doing here? What in the world have I done? Why did I think that this was a good idea? I think one of the bravest things I've done in a very long time is walking into that team house that first evening by myself, not knowing anyone. And almost immediately, Jake was right there. And one of the warmest welcomes I've ever gotten, introduced me to a lot of people. And just, I felt like in retrospect, he was just kind of tracking and making sure that I felt connected. I had said in my intake form that this is part of what I was nervous about. I tend to be kind of reserved and introverted in new groups of people, and I feel like that was read and heard and taken to heart, because I felt very, very surrounded and very included. I think one of the things that I walk away with after that camp is such a sense of such a sense of community, such a sense of belonging. I felt like where I am in the pack just kind of melted away, and I was just another runner, and none of those metrics mattered at all. People took me seriously. They took how seriously I take running. They took that to heart. I write about running, and that was listened to and acknowledged. And I arrived the first day kind of like a 10-year-old going to camp, and quite literally saying, I want to go home. I was that nervous, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't know what I was thinking. I want to go home. And on the last day, after saying goodbye and walking out of the team house, it was very much like a 10-year-old who's had a great experience at camp, and they don't want to leave. They've made new friends, they've built a team, they feel connected, and they don't want to go. And what a great, I had tears on both ends, and what great bookends to the experience. I would say if you're thinking about signing up for camp, do it. It was truly one of the best experiences of my life, and I came away with so much information. In fact, one of the things I kept saying is, I don't know how to describe it, but I feel so full. I feel so filled up. And there were just so many seminars, workshops, experts in their field. It was just so much good information, and yet there was so much time to just have downtime, one-on-one, connect. It was really perfectly balanced, and I credit that to like going to a good dinner party, and a good dinner party afterwards is a great experience, and it looks so easy, and it's because of all the preparation that goes in behind the scenes. And I think that's exactly why the Endeavorun experience was so good, because of all of the thought and intention and preparation that went in behind the scenes, and it really showed up in the experience. I walked away with, I can't wait to go to the next camp. And I'm not at a point in my running where I needed to be renewed. I've certainly been at those places before where I'm kind of in a down spot, but nevertheless, I walked away with believing even more in myself, about my running and what I might be able to do, and certainly what I can try. The day after Endeavorun, I turned 55 years old, and it was just kind of a perfect, confidence boosting. Let's see what I can do now. So I would say if you're thinking about it at all, don't pass it up. Don't pass it up. I think there's probably, which I didn't know, a lot of different options and running camps out there, but I can't imagine having a better experience with better people than what Endeavorun has to offer.